I'm an idiot. Let me tell you about how I wrecked my Civic again. Welcome to another episode of Gears and Gasoline, and this episode is a special one because we're finally taking the EK Turbo Civic to the track. We're here at VIR. We're gonna see if this thing is gonna either melt down or go really fast. Maybe both. I'm very nervous, but this is just a testing. We're just gonna see how it goes. The irony here is impeccable. Previously, this car ran at 207, was the fastest it's ever gone. We'll see if it goes faster with the turbo now. I know that the transmission gearing is gonna be a little bit of a problem because it's still like GLTC spec. It's close ratio, short gears, but we don't know until we do it. So let's go ahead and see what it does. The whole purpose of the weekend had been to test the turbo on the car. We knew the car wasn't in an ideal setup for competition. The gearing was far too short for the amount of power that it had, and we'd also reduced the red line, so my top speed was even slower than it was before. But breaking records wasn't what we were there for. We were there to figure out what the car had become now that we have fundamentally changed it. It was about gathering data. Well, I'm not sure if you've noticed, but got a new race suit. This is not just any ordinary race suit. This one fits me. I'm a little slimmer now. The other race suit didn't really fit me anymore. But more importantly, this race suit has the sweat of Valtteri Bottas on it. Because this suit was actually worn by Valtteri Bottas in his announcement commercial that he's driving for Cadillac Formula One this year. And this was literally the actual one that he wore for that. I bought it off the videographer that filmed it. So, you know, hopefully this will make me a little bit faster, maybe shave off a couple tenths at least. I am Valtteri Bottas spec. That overconfidence did not last long. I felt good rolling out on track with my fresh new turbo. I even rolled out in front of a Lamborghini Super Trofeo. But I was immediately humbled by the horsepower that this car produces. This is not the same car that I've been driving for the last 6 years. Golly! Oh my gosh! On my first flying lap, I had noticed several problems. The biggest issue was the gear ratios. Because I was still running the GLTC spec custom Gear X gears, I was limited to a top speed of 125 miles an hour, which I was hitting before I was even halfway down any of the straights. But it was probably a good thing that the car was limited, because it wasn't mechanically sound either. Oil temperatures were rapidly spiking through the roof, and the car had started smoking, both inside the cabin and out of the exhaust. I need to cool it down. Everything seems fine, but it might be burning some oil. Because of this, the track officials actually thought that I had been running on methanol fuel.
Are you running methanol?
No.
No.
Nope.
What are you running? Just regular?
E85.
Okay.
Yeah.
No methanol.
Thankfully, we found the issue with the smoke was just oil blow-by since we're not running a catch can. Now we know we clearly need one. Wow, this car is fast. Oh my gosh. The gearing feels like a freaking Tinker toy. Oh my gosh. Oh wow. I don't even know what lap time I did, but holy cow. Man, this thing is fast. Woo. This thing is so fast.
Now you just need some gears.
The gears are stupid. Bro, I max out the top speed before I even get to the flagger on the back straight. It's like, doesn't even feel like I'm halfway down the straight and I've maxed it out.
That's pretty wild.
It's nuts. Like, it's like... Also, hey, what do you think is a good oil temp? Like on the high end?
Like 220, 230 would be, I wouldn't want it to be over 230.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right, we gotta change the oil then.
Wow.
277.
276 oil?
It's coming down now, but it got up high and I was like, and then I remembered Type R's get up to like 280, so I just kept going. I wanted to at least do one full lap. I'm excited. Can you tell I'm excited? I haven't been this excited in a long time. Man. So the car was fast, and I was clearly excited about it, which, in hindsight, had been the start of my downfall. We already knew the car wouldn't set a fast lap because of the gearing, and now we also knew it can only manage one lap before the oil temperatures climb too high. But there's still one more crucial piece of information that we had yet to learn. And then I'm like, yeah, let's take it easy up the S's. I have no idea. Tires are probably still cold.
For the record, when we were putting the EK Civic on the trailer, he was spinning tires just going into the trailer.
Cold Hoosiers will mess you up. So I'm like, let's take it easy. I actually didn't even look at the temperature of the rear tires. We had determined that the weekend would be essentially pointless with only a sample size of one lap. I was not satisfied. We needed more data. On the second day, I was determined to figure out how to get the tires up to temperature without bringing the oil up to temperature. Day 2, getting back in the car. It looked like it rained last night, so the track's gonna be a little green, but don't think it matters too much anyway. We're gonna do one lap because the car will get too hot otherwise. So we'll go out lap, one lap, but we'll get more data. I've only turned one lap so far, so we gotta do more than that. Hopefully we can get the tires warm enough on the out lap without getting the engine too warm. It's kind of a balancing act. That was all we got. Cooler down, cooler down. 246 degrees. Oh man, car gets hot. One lap, for sure, one lap. Better than yesterday. Still in the safe zone for Valvoline VR1, maybe. Great day. Man, that Super Trofeo is fast. Interestingly enough, I'm burning 4 gallons of fuel in one out lap, one flyer, and one in lap. 4 gallons of fuel. So it's not going to be an endurance car anytime soon. And even when I get an oil temp or oil cooler in here, probably only got like 4 laps worth of fuel. I just can't get the rear tires warm enough to set like a good proper lap. Man, this is really disappointing because it feels really weird to say I put a turbo in my car, almost doubled the horsepower, and I went slower on track. But I mean, I'm slower. We got some work to do to make this thing fast, but that's development, right? Man, I actually lose 0.3 of a second on the straight to my previous NA setup. Even after I'm at redline, I lose 0.3 of a second because my rev limiter is lower now.
So I think it's interesting. It's like backwards, right? Your 207 is just like nice and smooth.
Yeah.
You go down, nice and smooth.
Straight.
Now you have power. It goes, ah, oh, slow down, slow down, slow down.
Yeah.
Ah.
Right. It's a mess.
It is a mess.
This looks awful. This data is bad.
I mean, it's good.
If I were to look at this, I'd be like, oh, it's a beginner. I'd be like, oh, this guy hasn't driven before. 2 laps were in the bag with only 2 remaining for the weekend, and the very next lap had been a wash. Literally. It had started raining. It's raining. We still went out because the more data we could gather, the better. But the data wasn't nearly as useful. We still saw oil temperatures climb, and we certainly did not get the tire temperatures up high enough. Yeah, one lap makes it really tough because I just can't get a lap in. I mean, it was raining a little bit on that session, and you can see in the onboard in turn 1, the rears are still too cold, so I can't get the car warm enough on the out lap. But then the oil temp is too hot by the end of the flyer, so I'm really in a tough spot. If I had 2 laps, that second lap would be a lot faster than the first because the rear tires would be warm, but I just can't get it. You might have noticed by now that I kept complaining about my tire temperatures, so we figured we should try out a set of brand new tires and see if that made a difference. Okay, so we got one more session, which means we have one more lap that we can do. So I'm gonna throw on some new fresh slicks, which might seem crazy because the car is not even going that fast, but it's a good idea to scrub these in anyway, get a heat cycle in them, so it's actually gonna make these ready and primed for whatever the next event is that we have But these are not any regular run-of-the-mill slicks. These puppies are Hoosier's new Track Attack race tires, which is basically a Hoosier A8. And what we had on the car was the Hoosier A7. So this is a new compound, supposed to be a lot more grippy, maybe last longer, I'm not really sure, but we're gonna get them nice and scrubbed in. We're gonna do one flyer on these to close it out, see what it can do, and then we'll have the data, which is always helpful. We clearly need gearing, not tires, but you know, we're gonna throw tires on anyway.
For science.
Yes, for science.
One session left, which meant just one more lap to gather data. My lap times were still awful, and I'll be honest, it was getting to me. How could I turbo a car and not make it faster than it had been when it was naturally aspirated?
Filled up, ready to go, and burn another 4 gallons for one hot lap.
I had put on a brave face and tried to act like it didn't matter, but it did. I was tired of fighting just to get the tires up to temperature for grip. Maybe I was just a wuss. Maybe I just hadn't been pushing hard enough.
I just hope I get a clean lap. But even if I don't, I mean, I'm not expecting it to go fast. I just want to get more data. The more data, the better. So, that's it. It's no pressure. Probably the least amount of pressure I've ever had before going out on track. Just kind of see what it does. Coolant temp's up to 180. Looking good. Rear tires are still not warm though. Rear tires are only up 8 degrees. We gotta get them warmer. All right, 160 degree oil temp. Good on the oil temp. Not good on the tires.
Dang it!
Freaking wrecked it. I freaking wrecked it. For no reason, I wrecked it. I wrecked it for no reason. The tires were cold. The tires were cold and I wanted to push it. I wanted to get a good lap in. Control arms are good, splitter is good, the bumper support is good. It's just the fiberglass. It's just $1,700 and a 5-month wait to get another fiberglass front end. Because I'm dumb. Because I'm dumb. Tires are cold. Yeah. I was like, maybe I'm just being, you know, a wimp. Maybe I'm just not like, maybe I'm just like scared of the turbo. So I was like, this is gonna be a good lap. I went a little harder on the out lap. I was like, tires should be good. And then it started stepping out and I'm like, oh crud. This is not a good spot for it to slide because like to correct, you get on throttle, front wheel drive. Sure. There's no room to get on throttle. You're gonna blow the next, you know.
This is a 2.
Into 2, it started sliding. So I got on throttle a little and I was like, I can straighten it up. And then I realized, no, because I'm carrying too much for the next corner and then I'll hit straight on and that's gonna be more expensive. Yeah. So I had to decide at a certain point, give up scrub speed. Yeah. And I did. And I kept it straight onto the grass, and I was like, it's not gonna scrub enough, and then it hit the thing. Not as hard of a hit, but obviously fiberglass is gonna explode.
This accident was entirely my fault. I want to be clear about that. I've been blaming the cold tires all weekend long, but I've watched through this footage countless times, and I have nobody to blame but myself.
And then I overcorrected a little there. bad of a hit. Yeah, the problem was the nut behind the wheel.
I carried too much speed. When I lifted to set the nose, the rear stepped out, I overcorrected, and went off. A better line, an earlier lift, or even less speed could have prevented it, but I didn't do those things, and now there's damage to fix. I accept the fault.
So it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Come on.
I swear, I think he enjoys making more work for not only myself, but himself. I think he keeps us both employed. You even took away the side view mirror.
Well, see, I wanted to take that off for drag.
The side skirt, look at this.
Yeah, we're gonna change the side skirts anyway. But guess what, Mark? Guess what? I kept the fender on the other side from when I wrecked on that side. I still have this fender.
I love how he sees the positive and the
Gotta
negative.
stay positive, right?
I got to at least give you that. You see the positive in the negative. Well, what now?
Well, see, we were talking about an oil cooler. I'm thinking maybe right here. We'll just chop that out.
Wait, what
right
about
there.
this open
Yeah,
space here?
that's the
oil
exit.
Cooler right
that's the
here?
exit for the oil cooler. Yeah. Got to keep you on your toes, you know?
I'm not gonna have any toes left.
It definitely bent something in the steering, unfortunately. The
I
steering
see
has
that.
turned a little bit, yeah. Yeah.
Well, this video has been nothing but a wreck.
Wow. Yeah, car went slow, and then it stopped into a wall. Come on, it's fiberglass. It looks worse than it is. I haven't popped the hood yet. No problem.
Oh my gosh.
The engine's gone.
It says check engine and it left. All right, well. So we got to order. So I need to make a list,
Make
huh?
a list. We got to make an oil cooler. We got to get an intercooler. We got to get now a bumper. We got to get a fender. We got to get headlights. We got to get a fender air thing. We got to change out the splitter. That should do it. Oh, control arm. Probably check alignment again.
I need some bourbon.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Comment below for the algorithm to help the analytics of this video be more monetized so I can afford a new bumper.
Send help, please. Like, I'm blinking, and yet nobody's helping me.